The views and opinions expressed on Geeks Under the Influence are that of the panelists and not of our sponsors, Amazon.com and TeePublic. Parental discretion is advised.
GUI Nights.
All right, you sexy fucks. Welcome to another episode of GUI Nights.
GUI Nights.
Good job there, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good at it.
I'm leaving that.
I was making sure I hit record. I was distracted.
Really, the maestro has to double check himself?
I'm easily distracted. I don't know what you mean, the maestro. Like, I have like 3 buttons to push, and that's too much for me. I don't know. There's no maestro.
Oh, I feel sad for Amy.
Luckily, she's only got a couple buttons to push, too. So,
but you say this too much. That's why I said I feel bad. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, fuck. All right. So, yeah, as you can tell, we're in for a treat tonight.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! But we are coming off of the, what episode? 204?
203.
203.
203.
203. Cobra Kai. That's what we're coming off of.
Man.
Which, yeah.
That was a fun episode. I really enjoyed it.
It was a great episode.
Yeah. I think we talked at length about, like,
all the different plot points, all the different growth.
Points, but also just really fun. Like, that show, like, is fun. Like, it's fun to talk about because it's such a fun show.
Yeah, and I feel like it's an amazing show because not only is there enough in there that can definitely attract this generation, which technically is, 2.5 generations past ours when we originally saw Karate Kid.
Ew. I mean, yeah, true, but ew.
But attaches also to us in, our mid to late 30s. Like, that says something. That really does say something in today's age where everything's so fucking ADD with the attention span of shit, right? Like,
yeah.
But it still manages to hold sway and power as far as the series goes.
Yeah, like Danny and Johnny are like Generation X.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of like in that weird in between of either being like the very tail end of Generation X or the beginning of Millennial or that Xennial micro generation that they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Millennial, and then what is it? Zoomers? Is that the next one?
After that? Fucking Zoomer. That's a terrible name. God damn it.
Zoomers are going to save the world. You know what? Like, it's a terrible name, but that's the generation that's going to do some shit. Because they've been given, like the millennials had to realize that they weren't going to get anything. That they were being left like nothing. Zoomers out of the womb were like, oh, we're fucked up. Okay, from the get, like from the get go, they're like, oh, so it doesn't matter. Like there's no talk about Zoomers getting like fucking doctorates in fucking like business or anything because they're like, no, the world, like everything's falling apart. It doesn't matter anymore. So
yeah, everything's burning. It's fine. Yeah. We'll find some water.
That's why they're gonna save everything because they're already being like, no, fuck it. Then I'm gonna study fucking crochet, how to crochet. Like that's gonna be my big thing.
I don't see that saving the world though.
No, but when the world collapses and we get back into a barter system,
we'll have sweaters.
That generation is going to be able to build things, like make
sweaters.
Stuff, make sweaters. Yeah. Do you know how to make a sweater?
I have crocheted before, yes.
Like you'd be able to make a sweater.
I would be able to make something that would keep you warm.
So you're better than most of our generation.
I mean, it wouldn't be the most, what's the word? Logical sweater, but it's something you could wear to keep you warm.
I've never considered whether a sweater is logical or not. That's not.
It's like, how do you make this work in your brain? That's where I'm at.
How does it make my hips look? Okay, is this like more of a logical or illogical sweater? I don't know.
It's like, well, if I put my arm in this way and then my foot in this way, it's kind of like a pants sweater. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm seeing Lowdown with a combination scarf blanket over his shoulder.
Right?
Yeah.
See, a lopsided.
It's got like a sweater that one of the arms is like a dimension in a Lovecraftian horror film where it holds an angle that is not a non-Euclidean angle and it just hurts your eyes to look at.
See? There's the logic side. You get me. You totally understand me. Anyway, so to join me on this fucking trip of, oh God, well, I don't even know where we're going into tonight.
We'll see.
Yeah, we've got first time on GUI Nights. Very first. Talk about popping his cherry. He's bleeding everywhere. We got Chris Porter.
Oh, I'm very satisfied. How you doing?
Yeah.
This technically makes 3 podcasts that you've been on in a week after being on none podcasts before.
Are you
that.
sore yet?
Wow,
You
not
sore
even.
yet? I feel like this one's going to be the raw dog where you just don't have any juices left and we're just slamming it. I don't know.
This is where you're still into it, but you're just so dried out from the
Yeah.
previous that you're like,
Fueled by alcohol.
yeah, exactly. That the third one usually
Did
is.
you just pour alcohol in it and that helped?
Oh no, this dries it out more, man.
And yeah. And the man who I don't know fuels my passion for this and kind of keeps me going with this even when it's dark and stormy because current events.
Yeah.
Man, the founder, the man who kind of gave me a passion I didn't know I fucking had. We got Mike Bickett here.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It's true though.
Also, I will never get tired of you talking about how I fuel your passion. Yes, I will. I will.
Hey, but dude, I literally walked into the fire with you after like the first like 4 or 5 episodes. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Like,
yeah, and that was before we were. Well, I wouldn't say they were good now, but at least that was before we knew how to do
started
anything.
making a structure.
Like we had no structure. We didn't know anything, and you're just like, fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
So
No, this is all right. He's clearly gonna keep up with it. So cool. Like I dig it. And
you were as surprised as I was on that one. So
but that's cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to Chris's first GUI Nights because you're in for a treat, buddy.
And the gentleman that's running this little podcast here, the master of ceremonies of the debaucherous here, is my partner running the network, Mr. Lowdown Brown MacGyver.
What's going on, bitches? I love all of you.
Hey, buddy.
Naked.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Apparently, if I'm fueling your passions, then that's true. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, that's a disclaimer.
Yeah.
That's the plus side of this being video chat is I can start stripping and I won't get hit. So that's
Yeah, but the next time I see you, though,
that's true.
That's the thing I worry about. Because it'll build up. It'll just keep adding levels
instead of a swear
eventually
jar,
it's one man punch.
The number of times that you've had to see my like translucently pasty skin in parts that you're not used to.
It's like, why? And then when I see you, there won't even be words. It'll just be like, you'll wake up, and like I said, I'm gonna be like the one man punch,
or One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's an
One Man Punch is the Kmart version of One Punch Man.
Maybe I grew up poor. What you trying to say? I'm like, it's the craftsman of martial arts because now Kmart has
It's
craftsman.
One Punch Man, but it doesn't have any moving parts. Like the arms just stay down by its side. It's like, how can he punch? His arms don't even move up. This is terrible.
He has no kung fu grip.
No kung
It's
fu.
terrible.
He has no grip. It's not even a regular grip.
I was like, I've tried. He has no grip.
No grip. He doesn't even have like a gardener's grip. Like he has no grip.
No gardener's grip. All right. Oh, that's where we're at, folks.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned prior to that, we're talking about Cobra Kai, but it kind of leads. It's a good lead into just some of the things that were 80s properties that we wish they would put that same level of just. I mean, is it really like that much thought, or did writers just go like, "There's more story to tell," and it came easy? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that worked. What was that process?
I don't know. Really,
They had so much room to expand the universe that I didn't even realize.
Exactly. And you didn't realize it until they wrote it and showed it to you, right? You didn't know until they showed you this is what we got, and we got more still. Like, I mean, so that makes me think about all these other 80s properties or these things that came out that were just these hits that like, what else we got, bro? What else is going on? You know?
Iron Eagle.
Yeah.
And Iron Eagle too.
I mean, I know we did have a Top Gun sequel rated to come out this year, which would have expanded that universe. It's not a show, but it's a movie.
That'll come out at some point, I'm sure. But
it was supposed to come out last year.
I know.
You know, and I was stoked just to see Maverick.
Everything's
and not over the top.
I think Morpheus even just got pushed back to 2022 as well.
It did.
Yeah.
It did get pushed back 2022. Yes. Now, some of the things we have seen that we grew up with as a kid that are still coming out, like, we mentioned in the previous episode, we've got Kong versus Godzilla. So we've had two Godzilla movies within the last decade. So that is something from our childhood, which actually that rendition of Godzilla was from the 70s.
Yep.
That continued through the 80s.
Well, it's tricky though, because it's not like it's the first time they've taken an 80s property and tried to morph it into something that we could appreciate. I mean, in whatever version of modern times that was. If you remember, they did try to make a version of Ferris Bueller's Day Off into a series by the name of Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
Oh, wow.
And that was dog shit. It was a fucking terrible series.
I've got another thing, and this might just be my childhood, but I feel like hopefully I'm speaking for everyone on this particular panel, that they did take from the 80s and they brought it into the future and revamped it, is Creepshow.
True.
I mean,
yep.
That movie was like a staple for me as a kid. I fucking loved it. And, I'm talking, 8, 9, 10, watching Creepshow. And then when they brought it out as a series, I'm like, yes. And then when I watched the series, I was like, yes. Like, I'm like a junkie looking for a fucking good vein. Like, give me more Creepshow.
I think there are some things that do have enough in that world or enough room for it to build that you can get it to be like a Cobra Kai, but not every, like, I don't want to see a reboot of Hill Street Blues. Like,
no,
I don't think that there's more to be talked about there. That's not, there's
I think you need something that started out with a very colorful setting, but doesn't go very deep into it. Maybe something like Beetlejuice.
Live action Beetlejuice could be interesting. We've only had animated, right? We never got our sequel, so that could be interesting depending on who was attached to it, right? Because you do want to. Somebody's got to have a passion for it if they're going to bring it back, right?
Right.
Or they've got to have the chops to bring it back. It's one of the two, right? You can't have a passion, not have a passion, and then not have the chops. You have to have the chops or have the passion to write and bring it to life.
I think that much like the Muppets, that they tried to do a reboot series where it was done like The Office, but with the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should do similarly with another 80s property involving like animatronics and characters, is if they were to do like kind of a meta Ninja Turtles live action series where it's actually the actors that they are actually Ninja Turtles. They're not like actors in the Ninja Turtles outfits, but they are portraying Ninja Turtles in a series called the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they're like adult Ninja Turtles that like live in the world normally. and they have like their own weird kind of like arch enemies with like Rick, who's in purchasing, that's a real dick and is dating Donatello's ex-girlfriend. It's just weird weird dynamics that kind of play into the story arcs that are being shown in the shows that they're like, in the episodes that they're shooting.
That's actually interesting because you got to think about it. Like, the turtles that we grew up with were literally, they were teenagers and they were a team fighting the same enemy. But as adults, they would eventually kind of find their own path, right?
Get into their own things, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. I think it'd just be funny to be like,
with that.
Just kind of like the Muppets, where nobody even discusses the fact that it's weird that there's these like giant like humanoid turtle people that are a part of this world. That's unknown quantity, but nobody even bats an eye at it. It's just not even a thing. It's just fine. On the subway, people are talking to Raphael, and he's just like, "I'm trying to read the paper here." That's my Raphael.
The papers.
The paper here. But nobody's actually like, fuck, it's a turtle person. It's not somebody like, I knew they were lizard people. And pointing at Leonardo, and he's like, fuck, I'm a turtle, man. Like, it's not lizard. But that'd be super fun.
No, that would be super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for the 80s, for me, it's like, it wasn't a movie, but I wish they would do a solid live action X-Men. I mean, they tried with The Gifted, which was like a post-war OG X-Men or Gone X-Men series, but
it was just kind of boring.
Yeah, there was just like a lot of build up to what seemed to be nothing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just failed mutants. So I'd be down. I mean, I will be down for an over the top like live action version of the 90s X-Men series.
You do a series called Genosha, and it's like set in Genosha when it's like a thriving like mutant haven.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start the first couple seasons of just like the inner workings of a community based almost entirely in mutants. And then the turn is when there's an assault on fucking Genosha.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a series like that, this might be a interesting time for it, because wasn't the original theme for the X-Men having to do with racism? And
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking now might be a good time to throw that in.
Yeah, no shit.
And actually, I think they're already one up on us for that, because I believe when we were only 3 episodes in, and I'm not going to drop any spoilers for anybody, but I believe where they might be leading with WandaVision is they're showing the power of Scarlet Witch finally. And I think they might be leading into a House of M, which is a whole other thing.
It is.
Of power and mutants and her reality when she creates her own reality, which it seems she's kind of creating her own reality right now. So I'm just saying.
I've thought of that with House of M, like one of the big turns, and this is all ideas.
Speculation.
Speculation. Yeah. But with House of M, there is a point where she basically says no more mutants, and then mutants are just kaput. Like they're
exactly. Yeah.
I'd be interested because they've done stuff like this with the cinematic universe of that she wishes for more people like her or something, so that she's not like focused on all the time for being the weirdo with all these powers, and she is responsible for mutants.
And I think what we're seeing within WandaVision is we're just seeing her power. Like we're seeing the power we didn't see in the movies.
Sure.
Because they didn't have the ultimate platform to show how strong she was.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. There's a good chance we'll end up doing an episode on WandaVision once the season is
I hope
done.
so.
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck.
It's really split on how people are feeling about it, but so far I'm in. Like it's a very different take on a Marvel property, but I think it's going to end up going more to the classic style by the end of the season.
I hope so. I think I'm like the idea of it, but it seems to be a real slow start. I think it would have been a lot better if the very end of episode 3 was the end of episode 1, because it seems to go really slow right now.
I don't know. I feel like they, when episode 2 comes in, they start bringing in the color with weird drops, like the hell. No spoilers. Mm-hmm. There's a couple weird drops in episode 2 that you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then there's all this hidden shit in like commercials and shit. Like there's a lot of Easter eggs that don't even like require you like not enjoying it and focusing on everything. Like you can enjoy the show, watch it, see the Easter eggs, see the fucking other drop-ins they do. I think for how long the show is, being every episode ends up being only like 24 minutes. Like I think they're doing a really good job of putting a lot in to the story and keeping it with that reality that Wanda has versus what we're seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what I've gotten from WandaVision is that they are absolutely saying that this is not phase 3 and before.
No.
The way that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be moving forward, and including the TV shows as well, is especially with watching the trailer for Loki and some of the other stuff coming out, I think that they're just kind of saying is like, shit's going to get a little bit more zany than it has been previously. So fucking buckle up. We've got to come up with story arcs that allow us to include X-Men and Fantastic Four. So things are going to get fucking weird until we can pull them in.
And I like that because give me some FF.
No shit.
Like seriously,
yeah.
Greatest team in the fucking Marvel universe.
Fuck yes.
And I'm going to say this for those listeners, although I don't really need to, but I'm going to. Spoiler. If you haven't seen the fucking trailer for WandaVision, I guess it's still a spoiler. You know it's post everything because he's got the fucking stone in his head.
Yep.
Okay? Like he's got the fucking stone in his head. This is clearly not current in reality.
Yeah.
This is not reality.
Yep.
Like he's dead. He got yanked from his brain.
Even in the trailer, it kind of
the snap did not bring everything back.
Right.
That's not how that worked. So,
Well, so yeah, I'm interested to see how they pull that together. But yeah, the X-Men, there's so much room there, and talk about stuff from our childhood. Yeah, fuck the X-Men. And I hope Marvel figures it out better than Fox ended up with that property.
Yeah. They tried.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to maybe feed off that House of X series.
Yeah.
That was apparently really good. I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I've heard from fellow enthusiasts that House of X is really good. I don't know. It just seemed really dead. It seemed like a lot of training for nothing.
Yeah.
During the series.
Speaking of a sci-fi approach to talking about racism, like the X-Men, another one from the 80s that I would love to see some sort of reboot of is Alien Nation.
Holy shit.
I haven't even thought about that in years.
Yeah, I have I think the first season on the DVD, but it absolutely is.
How many seasons of that was there?
It was only, I think it was like 2 or 3. I don't think it was too many.
But I remember commercials. Like, I remember avidly seeing things about that series.
It was if I remember correctly, it was a TV movie that was a backdoor pilot into a series. So there was the 2-hour TV movie, and then that ended up turning into the first, 2 episodes of the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I loved it when I was younger, when I was a really little kid, because that was the 80s. So yeah, I was a wee one when that came out.
One for me, and I know they recently, it got bought up by a distribution company, and they released it in somewhat of a better quality than the bootlegs that were out before. But there was an own Fox show called Werewolf, and that got bought up by a French distribution company, and they cleaned it up, but it didn't get like a 1080p release. But it's about a kid and a teenager and his best friend go out in the woods, and the best friend confessed to him that he turns, he wolfs out and eats people.
Yeah.
And the friend's like, you're full of shit. Yada. And then he ends up tying him up. The friend begs him to tie him up to a tree, and he does that, and the friend just sits back and waits, and, all time calling bullshit, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. But he ends up getting bit in the process. So he turns into a werewolf.
I have a very similar story about a friend tying me up to a tree in the woods, but it did not end with lycanthropy.
I don't want to hear. I don't.
It's a very different turn into that story.
I don't want to hear your sescapades, man. Just saying. It's cool. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, it's like ice-capades, but with less ice and more brutal scarring moments from my childhood. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Just as many scratches as lycanthropy, but no.
But I would love to see them honestly do that with the love and the open, like today's society would, I think, adopt that series more. Just bring it back out instead of re-release it for those that remember watching it when they were younger. Sure, but reboot the series and start it over again.
But I've been saying the same thing about Herman's Head for years. If they just do a serious, gritty reboot of Herman's Head.
Yes.
Chris, you got excited about that. Hold on. What do you
I
got to say
love
about
that
Herman's
series.
Head?
Nobody knows about it.
No one ever remembers Herman's Head. Yeah. I barely remember
Disney
it.
movie kind of like that. That was like a stealing the idea.
Yeah. I don't. I think I barely remember Herman's Head, but I remember really liking it when it was out.
Yes. Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of. I mean, we hit a main one with going from Karate Kid to Cobra Kai, because Karate Kid,
Sure.
Even if people probably don't even remember the movie, they watched it once, but they know the name Karate Kid, so when they hear Cobra Kai, and they know Cobra Kai, so there's an attachment there. But it would be nice to see that the resurgence and the popularity of seeing what can happen with old properties and bringing it into the new touches some lesser known things, I guess. And everything we've brought up that each individual has had a passion for is a lesser known thing,
I got one.
Ooh, what do you got?
A series. Even put it on fucking Sci-Fi, because you can have bad CGI. I don't give a fuck. I would watch a series of motherfucking Maximum Overdrive.
I would watch a series of that,
Like
because it would be way better than the fucking movie.
Post-apocalyptic world Maximum Overdrive, where all machines are out to kill humankind.
I mean, it's kind of Terminator-esque, but It's toasters.
Yeah, but it's literal toasters. Yeah, like
it's literal toasters.
It's like Terminator if the vending machine was trying to murder you.
Oh, there was a vending machine that does murder someone in the truck's version of that.
Oh,
Shoots
really?
out like no, it hits him in the balls. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Was that from Maximum Overdrive?
No,
Am I
that's
getting
from Maximum
confused?
Overdrive, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting confused.
It's a soda machine, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting them confused. My bad.
Yeah.
But so like Hollywood streaming services, there are properties that you could definitely profit off of.
Yep.
If you find the right writing crew that enjoys the source material.
I think Chris had one that he was thinking on.
Oh, do you?
Oh no, you were talking about the werewolves, and I was just thinking how much a world can be expanded from Teen Wolf.
The movie?
Yes.
Michael J. Fox?
Yes.
Well, they did the MTV series.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, but that was like the weird teen drama version, which you don't
versus
need to make.
the comedy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Give me a comedy Teen Wolf straight from the pages of the Michael J. Fox film.
Right. Exactly.
Like, I will watch that. Turn it into a drama bullshit. Fuck you. That's not what Teen Wolf was.
No,
Teen Wolf wasn't about that.
Even having like say Michael J. Fox's kid heading off on a journey to find other wolves.
Yeah,
around
something.
The country.
Keep that campiness in it, right? That's the biggest problem is
fuck yeah.
When they did Teen Wolf, it lost any sense of adventure and fun.
Yeah.
And camp. It was all just woe is fucking me
It's
and all
called
that shit.
Teen Wolf. It's about a teen that's a wolf. Like it's supposed to be campy.
Apparently MTV didn't get the memo.
Yeah, when you have when the name of the thing explains the thing entirely, like there's nothing left out, and it's 2 words. Like it's got to be campy. Like
Yeah.
You think?
Oh, 100%.
That's the pitch meeting for Teen Wolf. It's like, okay, tell us about Teen Wolf. He's like, he's a teen. He turns into a wolf, and they're like, fuck, we're in. Let's get Michael J. Fox. And they're done.
Oh, shit. All right. So hit us up and let us know some other 80s properties we probably missed that would make good in today as a series. I mean, because let's face it, everything that does better as a series than as a movie whenever they try to bring it back. Because series gives you time to flesh out the story that you thought of. Trying to cram that into a movie, it never works out well. And,
unless it's 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, but that's very true. And it was so much story they made 2 movies out of it. So
true. Yeah.
And both were hilarious.
They were surprisingly funny.
They were very good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them. I owned them because they're fun.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, hit us up. Check out GUIPodcast.com. All the podcasts on the network. Scroll through. Check them out. We have flavors for everybody.
We do. I mean,
all flavors of life.
Check out Lowdown's other show, From the Mouths of Madness. You got a newish design as well on the TeePublic page that is fucking choice.
Weapons of Madness.
Yeah, that's a great design.
It was a fun. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, yes. No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Check that out. Check out my co-host's other podcast, Spank My Pitch Up. His other podcast, Deeply Upsetting. Yeah.
That's the only other 2 right now.
Only other 2 right now. Yeah. No, we've got a lot of stuff, but literally every show fits a niche in the listening world.
Like, yeah, we got some things up our sleeves for 2021 as well. So,
yeah, as long as it lets us.
Yeah, no shit.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, not planning too far ahead. Not this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank Chris. Thank you for being on GUI Nights. Appreciate you staying up and rocking out with us on nights.
Thank you for having me up. Appreciate it.
Fuck yeah. Wait, did you say thank you for filling you up? Because, ooh. I'm sorry. Wait.
That's GUI Nights. That's not released to the public. That is.
No, that's the video version.
That's the champagne room of GUI Network.
The champagne room. Oh shit, we're getting fancy in nights. Holy fuck. But that's it. We're done. We're spent. Apparently, I'm getting ready to fill Chris up. So good night. Go home.
Wow.
GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty Big Daddy Preston here. That's right, the Geek Father, asking you to join me here every other week with friends and family of the GUI Network as we go through all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent. So remember, join us or cry.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
Embrace the madness.